I took a 2-week hiatus
2 week
from the show.
You're like The Rock, man. It's
I
like
am
literally, it's
not.
getting to that point. It's
Hey,
getting to that point.
How come I can
when
see
you're here,
ourselves here,
special.
but not here?
Delay?
That's the real question. That
There a
is the
delay?
real
Are we on a
question.
delay? Are we live?
No, now we're live. Okay, so we are on a delay. So, guys, welcome to the Retro Ranger wrap up. We are here live at Comic Book Manhattan Beach. Daniel is with me again. No, I shouldn't say again because really this is me coming in for. I haven't been here. I was here last week.
You were
but
here
other
last
than
week.
that, I don't really do the show a
Yeah.
ton. But Elle is not here.
You produce it more than you're on it.
I don't really even do that. I don't produce the show.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, Ella's not here. I'm wearing a gold watch, and we're going live. So, Daniel, yesterday we had Liana Ramirez on the show with us.
Yes,
from
we
Power Rangers
did.
Beast
That
Morphers.
was a fun event.
Super cool. We know that she's campaigning for that Hawkeye television show from Marvel, and that's going to be pretty cool.
There's a hashtag
There's hashtag Liana for Kate Bishop.
for Kate Bishop.
Liana Ramirez for Kate Bishop, or is it just Liana?
Just Liana. Liana for Kate Bishop.
We had a lot of fun with
It's the
her.
only Liana that matters.
That's right. We had a lot of fun with her. Thank you guys so much for joining us on your Sunday. Our Sunday afternoon, maybe your Sunday night. Maybe
Who knows?
your Monday morning. Who knows where you are? Edward Sanchez, Blackwing, Comic Realtor, Orville Joe, Conception Jr., Dragon Slayer, Funny K Comics. We got a lot of you guys. Matthew Thompson, The Blur.
Dang.
Thank you guys. Cat Yellow Ranger. Thank you guys for joining us live in the chat. Now, Daniel, we are at a pivotal moment in the history of Power Rangers. Now, let me take you back a second and talk to you about where we were and where we are and where we're going. Where we were, we've gone through Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Alien Rangers, Zeo Rangers. We're currently in the midst of Power Rangers Turbo.
Yes.
And this is a big pivotal episode because the Power Rangers, as you know it, is about to change. Now, going forward, they're going to carry on this legacy to the rest of Turbo and on into space. And then we start getting huge change-ups. Now, what I would like to talk about for a second here is up to this point right now,
Yes.
this is legitimately the old guard changing. Now, Jason David Frank was an actor that played Tommy, probably arguably the most popular Power Ranger. He was with the original 5 Rangers.
Yes.
Now,
As the sixth.
as the 6th Ranger. Now, after he's gone, everything changes up, and now we get a real new generation of Power Rangers.
Yes, that's right.
Now, Daniel, before we get into the episode, chat me up a little bit about what you remember from this era of Power Rangers, from when you originally saw it. And in the chat, let's reflect, man. This is a nostalgia show. Let's reflect on a little bit of what you guys remember for during this time era.
Well, getting back to my Wayback Machine, thinking about it right now, I gotta say immediately I was kind of already falling off Power Rangers by this point.
I think
really
a
was.
lot of people were.
It was like I was doing exactly what they did when they passed the torch, which is aging out. So I guess it was at that point where I was like, it's way too predictable now. I'm getting older. This just now seems like a kid's show because it's what they did. They chose to go back and appeal to the kids that are about roughly Justin's age. So by doing that, it was like I was leaving the show. So a lot of this, as far as like the passing of the torch, I barely remember. I know it happened, but I don't remember exactly how it happened. So seeing this episode really did something for me.
Did something for you. Now, were you aware of who was coming on during this era of Power Rangers? Like, were you aware of any of the Rangers that were coming on?
When I was a kid, no, except for kind of like Carlos and Ashley. You could tell because they kept having recurring moments. We had even storylines that were surrounding them. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, we've seen this happen before. This is old hat. But as far as TJ, a shock, where it was like, what? And then what's her name? Cassie also. It was like, I just met you, and now you guys are okay. I guess this is happening too. So there was some mixed bag.
We already got our first super chat from The Blur. He's also a patron for Cosmic Protectors.
That's right.
Passing the torch, he says, or the power transfer, what's your favorite?
Power transfer is better than passing the torch for me.
Why is that?
When we review the episode, there are moments where I even notice it looks like the best Universal Studios stage show ever, but the worst thing for TV. It was just like,
I'm going to go ahead and say that passing the torch was better to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I felt like they actually did it right where the actual team passed the torch, whereas they had stand-ins to pass the torch.
Okay. So
that's the only reason. Logistically, I think it's a bit better for me. Now, As you can see, the Blur used the Super Chat feature. Now, you might ask what that is. Most of you already know, but for those of you that are new, I'm going to let you know what it is. The Super Chat feature helps support our show, but it also keeps your comment right there in the chat. Yeah. That way, we get to interact with you directly. Now, speaking of interacting directly, we're upon convention season right now. San Diego Comic-Con just passed. Here in LA, we're prepping for D23 and LA Comic-Con. But any Comic-Con that comes to your area, you might want to support Power Rangers, because there's not a ton of merch out there. So hit the image with our shirts on there from TeePublic. We have some great Power Ranger shirts from different seasons. Now, we did them as movie parody posters.
True.
And we're not focusing on Mighty Morphin. We are doing a lot of other seasons. However, we're about to drop another shirt in the next week or two, and it's brand new, and it's going to coincide with the release of a hit movie coming out. And I think it's really, really cool. And this is one of our first villain shirts. Now, we also got another Super Chat. See, Toku Kid knows what's up. He's also a member of Hashtag Show, so welcome, Toku Kid. Where did the rock come from? Why was it made? In the passing of the torch? Well, we'll get there.
Okay, yeah.
Like Daniel said, Universal Studios show.
Yeah, exactly. Stage show, man. Just,
but we have the image of the shirts. Working on it. Don't have the image. We're finding out for you. Right. There it is.
Woo!
So as you can see from your left, I don't even know if left or right. Anyway, we have the Once a Ranger shirt. That's from Justice League. Power Rangers Turbo. That's from Fast and the Furious. Power Rangers RPM from Mad Max Fury Road. Power Rangers Super Mega Force. That is from
Pirates of the Caribbean.
And Power Rangers in Space. That is a Star Wars parody shirt. So get yours. There's also a Shattered Grid one, which is a play on Avengers Infinity War. So get those shirts. The description in the link below will link you right to our TeePublic store. That way you can get one of those shirts. They're not just shirts. Also, you can get them as stickers, posters, whatever you want. You want to put it on a mug? Put it on a mug. You want to, hey, it's back to school time. You want a cool notebook? Get your Power Rangers notebook right there from
phone cases.
Show. And also, phone cases. Mine is a phone case. I got the Power Rangers in Space phone case there for you. I support us.
That's beautiful.
Now, another thing I want to talk about is Power Rangers Cosmic Protectors. For those of you that don't know, it is our fan series from Power Rangers that is a motion comic. Right now, if you go to Instagram, Cosmic Protectors on Instagram, you can see what we're doing there.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not asking for your money. Now, a lot of different Power Ranger fan films have gotten funded. They've asked for a lot of money, and some of them have never gotten made. Some of them haven't gotten funded, so that's fair enough.
Very true.
But regardless of if you fund this or not, or if you support this or not, it's going to come out. So we're not asking for your money. We're asking for your support. Go check out our Patreon. Josh can put that in the description or in the chat right now. Check out the Patreon. Now, if we get 10 patrons in this episode today, no matter what tier you join, we are going to be giving away the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Red and Gold Ranger figures from Hasbro, the Lightning Collection. Now, those were the rare things at San Diego Comic-Con. You can pre-order those currently on I think on Hasbro's website. Yeah, they're not out yet. But if you want one in hand, all we need is 10 patrons. It doesn't matter what level you join, 10 patrons. We're going to be talking about this throughout the show and promoting this. I'm hoping to get a piece of artwork for you guys today. Maybe we can get the because Kelly's the next one up.
Yeah.
So maybe we could get her artwork just in time. Josh just put it in the link, so check it out. And there you go. The Blur's already a supporter. He says it's worth it. You got my support 100%. Check out the tier levels. It's direct interaction. You can interact with some of your favorite Rangers, but it is there. So check that out. Now let's get into the meat of why you guys joined us this week.
Passing the Torch Part 1.
That's right. Now this episode is directed by Shuki Levy. And is written by Shuki Levy and Shel Danielson. First and foremost, Daniel, give us a rundown of the premise of the episode, how we start, and what we're introduced to.
All right, so we start off immediately with an introduction to Divatox's family. Actually, her mother, to be more exact, who definitely is their version of Ursula, the Sea Witch. She's purple, has like octopus things, blah blah going on. It's just kind of weird. But she, in this dream, which we find out later wasn't a dream, it was actually just like a transmission. But she tells her mother tells her, look, you failed these many times trying to get the Rangers. Why don't you just kind of compartmentalize and go for one Ranger? And the Ranger to go for specifically would be the leader. You cut off the head, everything else falls apart. So go after Tommy. And that is the catalyst for this entire two-parter. Because finally, Divatox is successful and wins. And it's really good. I gotta say that. I really did enjoy it. There was a lot that happened. We have change and shifts of who's leader when the leader is away, things like that, and just seeing the team work as a team, and an interesting way to introduce new characters.
That's right. Now, let's talk about this for a second. I think it's a pretty solid plan to break up the Rangers.
Yeah.
And I think this is definitely where I feel like we get the most kind of action in terms of like, it felt like they were actually in peril.
It was, like, with the driving, Tommy's over here driving, getting shot at, and everything like that. My only thing was, why did they choose not to morph? I was wondering, but nonetheless, with them not morphing, we got to see a lot of out-of-suit action, seeing them right in person. We got to
see a lot of cats yelling for Tommy. We did.
That was all Kat did. She was like, Tommy! Tommy! And that's it for, like, the first episode. That's all it was.
In Lost, Michael, like how he screams for Walt. This is that version. I feel like this is
oh my god.
Now, we also get introduced to 2 new characters.
Yes.
And who are those characters? And talk to me. Chat me up about who these characters are.
Now, we run into TJ and Cassie. Now, they first make their first appearance on a bus headed out towards pretty much our way. We have Cassie, who's headed to where Rocky and all them were from.
Stone Canyon.
There you go. And then we have TJ, who's headed directly for Angel Grove. They have their own reasons for doing it. She wants to be a singer. He wants to just become better and, physically better, I guess, because his dad said something about a baseball team they have and blah, blah. But he mentioned a few other things. Yes. And it was great, like, just seeing him, you knew exactly what was coming. So it was like instant nostalgia. So I was like, oh God, I got a hit of it, and it was perfect. But still, we have our candy conversations, our weird kind of, trope things that they do and trope things that they say. For example, Cassie mentions Tina Turner for some reason when he was like...
Cassie also can't sing.
Yes! And I was like, wait a minute. She was like, oh, I want to sing. You just sung a few moments ago, and everyone was like groaning, wincing, like, please stop.
Didn't TJ even make a comment about it?
He did. He was like, I think maybe you should stop because they're not... ready for your music. And she's like, oh, you think so? And then this old lady was like, oh, thank God. And I was like, dang, all right, well, you can't sing, and we all know it. You shouldn't be there. But still, nonetheless, we got a lot of American, or a.k.a. Saban footage versus Toei footage. In fact, this episode, I don't think had any Toei footage.
Yeah, I think so.
Right
here. Now, here we also do get somewhat of a... Well, first of all, before we get there, we also see that Cassie and TJ, they stop at a bus stop, and they find out that someone's in trouble, and they go running
oh my God.
for help. Now, let's talk about this for a second. TJ's the one that wants to go and do it, and Cassie's the one that doesn't.
Yeah.
TJ shows his heroics. And at this point, if you didn't know the show, would you already assume that they're set up to be Power Rangers?
I would assume TJ was, but I would assume she wasn't. And there were many moments where they did something where it was like, oh, okay, TJ stayed around, she didn't. TJ stayed around, she didn't. So it was like, oh, okay, she's just there as a foil, but TJ's going to be the one that stays.
Now, interestingly enough, they're wearing neutral colors. They're not wearing current Power Ranger colors. Now,
True.
You think, though, that, and this is something I've never really understood with the show, why do they get to wear neutral colors, but when they get the Ranger powers, they wear those specific colors? I think, shouldn't they wear those colors just to kind of like set it up, or do you have to wear those colors in order to associate it?
Yeah, man. It's for kids. It's like when you do a cartoon show, you don't change the clothing the character
You know what?
wears.
Did you know that fun fact about Power Rangers Megaforce? They never changed different clothes because of that.
Really?
Yep. You go back and Megaforce. Yeah, go back and watch Megaforce. Ciara Hanna told us they made sure they wore the same wardrobe every single day to associate it as kids would with a cartoon.
Wow. So they try to make it really like a live-action cartoon.
Exactly right.
I'm sorry, Sarah.
I mean, if you actually think about even what they did with Samurai, I mean, mostly they were in there like Samurai, like training outfits.
True.
It's the same thing.
That's true.
I think the first season they started changing that up was Dino Charge.
Oh, really?
Dino Charge also had a different executive producer when Chip Lynn came back and he took over from Jonathan Zacher. So, fun facts all around here on the Retro Wrap. But by the way, I'm going to give a special shout out to Daniel and Elle, because I just got a text message from Jason David Frank today.
Oh,
and he really appreciated your guys' episode. And I'm gonna play a part of a conversation. He sent this on my phone, so just a part.
Sorry, I'm getting ready for Boston. The meeting I killed Boston, dude, is so crazy. But oh my god, dude, that'd be freaking amazing. I mean, I saw it for the first time. That side, David Trueheart. I didn't know all that stuff. And there's.
So it's a little excerpt there, but yeah, Jason David Frank watched Retro. There's a lot of information he didn't know that we were informing him about. So this is the reason why, to catch up to this nostalgia side of Power Rangers. And when the Rangers are doing it, everybody should be doing it.
See, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. So anyway, take
that as a lesson, Shay.
Right.
What?
We're gonna talk here for a second about Cassie and TJ. Now, the Cassie and TJ jump into the mix right away.
Oh yeah.
There is some, looking back now, this comment doesn't age well.
Okay.
But it's when Cassie kicks the Piranhatron, and TJ's like, "Where did you learn to do that?" And Cassie's like, "My people invented it."
No, actually, I think that ages well perfectly because the thing is she's addressing it. You know, and it's kind of like, oh, watch out, it's kind of controversial comedy. Ooh, and I'm like, well, I mean, can we deny it?
Can we deny it?
She's right.
By the way, I want to give another shout out to Justin Keyson, member here, the Illuminati.
Killing it.
He hosted the panel today at Japan World Heroes with Deca Red and Brandon J. McLaren. That panel is going to be released exclusively here on that hashtag show, and interviews with each actor is also going to be released exclusively here on that hashtag show, and but that hashtag show. We're going to have that right here exclusively, so check that out. The Illuminati's doing big things here.
That's right.
So join us on Patreon, because we might have some Patreon exclusives for that as well.
What was the panel? Yeah.
What?
What was the panel for? Like
it was for Deca Red and SPD Red together. They were
because they were doing
counterparts.
Oh man!
Here's a fun fact about that. And
dude, that's dope.
Justin really brought this up to me. Is that SPD was one of the first Power Ranger seasons to actually be converted. It actually was taken, the American version was taken and brought to Japan. So the same actor had to voice the same character, kinda, but play him completely different because Brandon's character was completely different than the character he played. So he voiced him over, which is super interesting to me. Very fascinating.
Wow.
But yes,
something new to learn.
Something new to learn every day. So let's go back to this episode. Daniel, first and foremost, we're going to talk about these two episodes as a whole. So let's talk about them as a whole. We also get to see Justin. We see this is another thing too. Johnny Young Bosch hits one of the sickest kicks.
Yes. Okay. All right. Perfect. A good like, was it like a more of a flip?
Yeah, it was insane.
Okay, Johnny Young Bosch shines in these two episodes. One for the writing, at least taking what they did right and making it his own. When he shows up to actually be the de facto leader for a moment. And that's when things start to change in the episode. Because, immediately, episode 2 starts right off where we end in episode 1. So we do take it like it's one episode. And they're sitting there demorphed. They've been trying to fight, and they're losing. They're losing just horribly. And they realize, okay, we need to morph. And they waited, actually, for Adam to make the call. Because Adam was like, all right, they're running up to him, and he's like, make the call. And she goes, all right, it's morphing time. And then boom, they go ahead and they morph. And now everything starts to change. You know, the weight starts to change on the scales. And we finally see the Rangers start to do some stuff that's really good. But it was like, I felt like at that moment, I'm still wondering, was it them in those suits? Because everything looked different. The shots looked different, the fighting, the movement, the action. I was wondering, was it actually them, or did they just hear their stunt doubles?
I think it was them.
Because it just seems like it. The way Johnny Young Bosch's character moved in the suit did look a lot like if it was Johnny Young Bosch.
You mean in the
when they actually
I believe that was probably the stunt actors.
Dude, the guy does some movements just as quick as Johnny Young Bosch
he still does great movements.
Like it was so quick, and I was like, I think that's him.
An excellent martial artist.
Yeah.
Now, overall, give me some highlights from this episode that you really liked, and also in the chat, we didn't forget about you. Give me some highlights that you liked from these two groupings of episodes. The historic passing of the torch, Daniel.
Ooh.
What are some of your highlights from this? What are your fond memories from this?
Like I said,
some of your highlights.
The
fond memories.
You're to stop. The parts where they actually, like I said, a lot of out of suit fighting was great. But we started this episode with them actually in the suits. Quick fighting sequences, and still, once again, we did not use any Toei footage until the end. when we actually had to have like Zord versus Zord and blah blah. It was a lot of just American Saban footage. So that was great for me, and it was great then, and it was even far more like, oh, it meant something. It was impactful now, and I loved every bit of that.
Let me ask you a question. If the original 4 hadn't left, do you think that would have enticed you to stay on the show, or would that have enticed you with the change to even be more interested in the show and come back to it? If you were thinking about teetering off,
be more interested with the change.
So you would have stuck on the show just to see what they would have done.
Yeah, man.
In the chat, question to you: Would you have been more interested in sticking around for this season if the original 4 Rangers would have stayed, or does it entice you more to stick around because you get 4 new actors coming onto the show? I'm very curious about this because I'm with you. The 4 new actors, to me,
I want to see what you do.
It breathed new life into the franchise.
It really did.
And I just wanted to see where they were going to go with this.
Well, we did a lot of world building with bringing them in. We got a lot of world building. We got to see Zordon come back. Along with Alpha, just to say, well, this is a big moment, almost like you are graduating. You are finally matriculating out of this. You're getting too old and you're aging out. And it was like, oh, this is dope.
We got another super chat from the Blur, another member of our Patreon. He says the scene where Tommy is caught in the explosion. That's one of his highlights.
It was good because he's hanging on by the door, making sure Cat's away. And then once Cat's clear, he says, okay, now I'm going to move. And he starts to move, the explosion hits, and I was like, oh, all right. We're getting there.
Blackwing says he would have stuck around. New meat brings substance to the show. We got Seeker to Secrets. He said, I would have stayed either way. Matthew Thompson says, I did leave after the change as a child, but I came back for the end of Turbo and In Space. The Blue says,
same.
I would have stayed to see the 2 original and 2 new ones and see how they would have interacted. It's interesting.
I left and came back at the end of Turbo just to see the end of Turbo and the beginning of Space. And then Space was like, oh, my God.
So you eventually did drop off, even with the new cast.
Oh, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, forget it. I just let it go.
No.
And I'll tell you why. It's the 3rd episode we covered today.
Oh, we're doing that episode too? I didn't think we were not. We're doing that next week.
Oh, okay, we'll do it next week.
Yeah, I agree with you. I kind of agree.
But that was it because it was like, all right, let's go do something. But then, just a little heads up, spoiler, next week, status quo.
Let me ask you though.
And it was like, what the heck?
Do you feel though? I mean, we're jumping ahead just a second here. Do you feel though that the characters feel like differently written? Now,
yes.
Next up is Doctor Who, and this is a talk we have all the time about how when Peter Capaldi took over for Matt Smith, it still felt like they were writing for Matt Smith. Now,
Definitely.
The Power Rangers here, were they still writing for Tommy, Kat, Tanya, and Adam?
No, and that's something that we definitely noticed, and we knew that ahead of time. When we saw that they fired almost like most of that team, they fired my homeboy, what's his name? God, I forgot that guy's name. Doug Sloan? Doug Sloan, my man Doug Sloan. When they fired Doug Sloan and all that, and they were making the changes, it already seemed a little different. And then, so immediately with this change up, when we start off on the next episode, like I said, we're jumping a little bit ahead. We start off on that next episode, even the way that they discuss things with each other, the conversation they have, and just their movements and actions, it's different. Yeah. And you're just like, wow. And I get why they did it. And it was like, so they were already ready to do something different.
Now, let's talk about this. We also get to see interaction with the Green Ranger looking at Carlos. We also get the Yellow Rangers kind of peeping in on Ashley. We already knew pretty much who these Rangers were going to be.
We did. And the thing is, but then when I'm rethinking about it, there's a moment where Jason shakes Carlos's hand. Tommy shakes...
Tommy?
Tommy shakes
TJ's hand, yeah.
When he shakes TJ's hand, and it was like, oh, what's your name? And he said, oh, I'm TJ. And it was like, oh, okay, all right. Here goes this. Here goes that one connection.
Bear me. Sorry.
One bear?
Yeah.
But that was trippy, like, with the handshake, and then it was like, oh, okay, what's your name? He didn't want to know Cassie's name. He just wanted to know TJ's name because it was like,
that's who didn't care about Cassie.
No, he didn't. He took TJ's hand and was like, TJ, cool. And then Cassie had her moment already with Kat, where Kat was like, oh no, blah blah. And, yeah, okay, all right.
He did say, like, what's your name?
Yeah, like everyone had their moment.
My friends call me TJ.
Person.
Theater J. Jarvis Johnson. My friends call me TJ.
But everyone had their moment. But the weird part for me also was when the Rangers, after they finished everything, they were kind of like creepers, and they were hanging around and like peeking their heads out through corners, morphed, and they were just like, and then Carlos was like, what the what the? And then Ashley was like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, they saw him in the corner of their eyes, and I was like, wait, what is happening? I forgot that there was going to be a passing of the torch.
Now, this also begs an interesting question, and we might get to this, cover it in the notes and errors that we always do on this. Now, do you possibly think that because the original plan was JDF was the only one that wanted to leave, and Johnny Young Bosch, all the rest wanted to stay, but Saban decided, you know what, let's just have a new era. Had we stuck with Johnny and everybody else, Johnny probably would have been red, because that's why he was growing out his hair.
Yep.
Be the new leader of the team. Chasing the space, would Johnny remained red, and do you think Andros would have, like, how would that have played out?
No way. No.
It's completely different at that point.
That's
You'd assume that Justin still would have stayed behind.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Kat or Tanya would have come on, but let's just say Adam would have stayed on. Do you think that, like, how does the dynamic change there? And would have they brought in TJ at that point to replace Justin?
It would have been interesting for me to see those two as far as Andros and Adam. Because at this point, you're seeing Adam start to build up already. Like
we will get to see Andros and Adam interact though in Power Rangers space.
So the thing is, it's like imagine if you will, just Adam on this kind of trajectory that he's already on, just getting to be bigger, better, badder in every way. Finally, he gets up to a point where now he's got an ego. And then he's going to have to run in Andros, his character, has an ego.
Sure.
So Andros himself is like, yeah, that's a great guy. Look, I've been in space a lot longer. I've been a Ranger a lot longer. Blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. I've got this, you know? And then here goes Adam like, yeah, that's cute. But blah, blah. You know, it would have been this back and forth all the time, which would have been interesting until the moment where they had to decide who was going to be the leader. And then it would have probably been weird.
Yeah.
And I think that's when Adam would have left.
Interesting. So, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things that were happening on during this time frame of Power Rangers. Now, before we get into anything else, I want to talk to you guys about the Patreon that we have going right now. It's Cosmic Protectors, our Power Rangers fan-made motion comic. It's also going to be put out as an audio drama, as a podcast, but we're asking for your support, not for you guys to fund this. Now, this is really going to help getting equipment. It's also going to help getting the stuff out faster. But regardless, if you guys check it out, just go to our Patreon. Can we get the link in there, Josh? He's not even paying attention.
He's
Josh, can you put the link in? And then,
sorry.
We're gonna put the link in there. But check it out. It has some cool tiers that I think you guys are gonna like.
Oh,
also, one of the cooler tiers is you guys can be a Ranger yourself in this. Now, we are adapting the Q Ranger series from the Sentai. It hasn't been adapted here in America yet.
That's right.
So we're going to adapt that, and we're doing a new spin on it, but we're also keeping it in the realm of Power Rangers. For a lot of you guys that don't know, the reason why we started this is because we were very critical of the way that Saban was handling Ninja Steel, and we said we could do it better.
Yeah.
And now we're putting our money where our mouth is. And I think we have done a good job. We finished our first table read. We're almost done with recording all the voices for the first episode.
This is going to be great.
It's bringing back former hashtaggers like Brian, Jessica, who's still a part of the team.
Exactly.
Sarah. Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly's still here.
Yeah.
It's bringing back everybody is going to be in it. Shay, if you guys know.
Oh, breakout star.
He did
breakout
a great
star.
job. Oh, Daryl's in it.
Daryl's in it? Yeah,
Daryl's
that's right. Daryl comes back,
you did your
kills
recording already?
I did great. It was all right.
And then we were messing around with Jezra yesterday doing some voices. He did some good ones. But we have a lot of people coming on board. Not just that, we also have former Rangers coming on board.
That's
not just to voice their characters, but to voice villains. Not just Rangers, but also WWE superstars.
That's right.
That are also going to be voicing monsters. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And we're really opening up the world here. I'm probably going to get Magnum. Magnum actually is doing a voice. He doesn't know it yet. Yeah. He actually is doing a voice. But there's going to be a lot of people coming back for this. A lot of people that you already know, and a lot of people in different fandoms. We're trying to get cast members from Overwatch to come in and do voices here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Go check out Patreon. Go click that link. Just support. And also today, if we get 10 new patrons today, just today alone, no matter what tier you sign up with, we are going to be giving away the 2-pack of the Gold and Red Ranger, the Austin St. John 2-pack from the Hasbro Lightning Collection that was at San Diego Comic-Con. All we need is 10 people to sign up, and then we'll be giving that out. Now, back to the show. Daniel, first of all, in the chat, are any other highlights that you have?
No, I think I hit them all on the head, except for just the literal passing of the torch. That ceremony.
One question to you: which Ranger were you most looking forward to seeing play one of their roles, like going forward into the future Power Rangers?
TJ, immediately. TJ immediately.
First Black Red Ranger.
Yes, exactly. First Black Red Ranger. And then when Jason said, "And you will be the lead. You'll be the leader," and I was like, "Whoa, okay, all right, this works out well. New team, new leader, everything like that, and we're changing the dynamic of what we had." So I was in.
Now,
and his out of suit stuff was already great.
Also, this is also the hold on one second. I'm gonna unplug here for my buddy to let me charge. Here you go, man. This was also the return of Bulk and Skull in their physical form.
At the end, and it was amazing. The thing that brought them back was a milkshake.
Yeah.
That's because apparently milkshakes can cure invincibility, guys. So always remember that. That's what's important. No matter what you learn here today, remember, if you're invisible, drink a milkshake.
For me, the one that I was most excited to see was Tracy Lynn Cruz. Ashley, she was. I had the biggest crush on her.
Oh,
Tracy
boy.
Lynn, and she holds up. I love Tracy. She's a dear friend. Now she's amazing. Tracy is a dear friend, and I love her husband, Javier, as well. So, but yeah, Tracy was really one of my big first crushes.
Oh man.
So it's so funny now because we're friends now and we see each other all the time. But it's just so funny. But yeah, this was a great episode. The passing of the torch ceremony was epic. Now I do
had its faults. It had its faults.
Did have its faults.
It had its faults.
Now, let's talk about some of the negatives.
I'm saying some of the look. That was the only thing. But I do appreciate that what they chose to do was do something on set and give us something like we can actually see. And it wasn't going to be like, well, let's just not use things that you don't remember. Like, they used the poles from the old command center and blah, blah, and they made it all like, well, it did, you know what it looked like? It looked like an office party and somebody tried to dress it up. And I think that's exactly what they pretty much did. Because that's what they pretty much did.
It looked like Angel Grove prom.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, it did.
The prom that we threw looked like the passing of the torch.
Yeah, it
honestly did.
It really did, man. Like, when you think about it, it looked exactly like that. Like, you could see that, okay, there were people working, trying, putting their... working hard for it. Like, for example, it looks like they had the two alphas just working all days, all nights. Just, all right, pick up Alpha, pick up that rock, put it there. I'm putting it down. No, there, Alpha. Why don't you help me, big head? You know, like he's just doing all the work himself, him and the other Alpha. So I think that was exactly what it looked like. It wasn't the greatest, but it was still hilarious and it was still fun.
We also got a super chat.
Super chat?
Would you like to see? This is from the Blur. Thank you so much for being a patron, and thank you for your question yesterday for Liana Ramirez.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it says, would you like to see this team in Boom Comics?
Yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I think I would love to see this team in Boom Comics. Yeah. But the thing is, it was like, what are we... Now I'm thinking about Cosmic Projectors. But yeah, I would love to see that team in Boom Comics. I think it's something that we will see because they're going to age up to it. They're going to definitely get to it.
Hey, Thomas Franco, let me ask you a question, buddy. Why are you so angry all the time in the chat? I don't understand.
What is he doing now?
Why you're always so upset. Here's the deal, man. Let me just tell you a little thing. Sometimes we all stress out. Sometimes we blow off steam. Some people like to masturbate. Some people like to smoke weed. Whatever it is. Why are you always so mad, bro? Like, people in this chat, they're just here to have a good time. Just chill out. Relax.
I really know what it feels to be stressed out, bro. Stressed out.
Just relax about it. Life is good. Be happy. Have a smile on your face. You don't smile a lot. I see the pictures. You have the pictures, same shirt, different shirts,
same look.
Smile a little bit. Have a little fun with life. Anyway, let's talk about some news and notes from this episode. Thank you guys so much. Hey, guys, what are your worst moments from this episode? I'd like to know that too.
Worst favorite? Just tell us what you got.
I love being on this show. It's fun. Like this show in particular. This show,
it takes you back, man.
It does take you back. Now, believe it or not, for these two episodes, this 2-episode grouping, there's only one error. You believe that? You did a good job. One error.
Let's see what's happening here.
Let me get to these negatives real quick. Oh no, it's all good.
No, okay.
Negative. So this is one error. When he said the word when he said the word morph, when Tanya is mentioned doing this, Flamite's voice suddenly turned into Elgar's. This is because they're both voiced by
the same. Oh yeah. I knew that, but I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all right. Yeah. That works for me.
So we do
only one error.
The comic book realtor's least favorite moment is Justin's reaction to the new team. I completely agree. Yeah, got that.
What?
Yeah,
what about me? And then it's like, you remain the Blue Ranger. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm good.
We do have some notes, though. Some fun notes for you guys.
All right.
All right, so this is the first appearance of T.J. Johnson and Cassie Chan. This is also the final appearance of Tommy with long hair. This is
wow, really? Because when he... Wow.
This is also the final time Tanya morphs and the final time she fights unmorphed. This is also the final appearance to date of Tanya Sloan. She would appear morphed in an episode of the legendary battle in Super Mega Force as the Yellow Zeo Ranger.
Oh, yeah. No.
Also the final time Tommy morphs until Forever Red. And the final time he appears as a series regular until Day of the Dino 2 years later.
Dang.
I don't know if 2 years later is accurate. It's not 2 years.
It's not. I don't think it's 2.
Oh, no, sorry, that was wrong. But Tommy would appear again as the Red Zeo Ranger in Wild Forces Forever Red, return in full-time duties to the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, and he makes further appearances as the original Green Ranger in the legendary battle, and with several Power Rangers and Super Ninja Steel's Dimensions in Danger. Mm-hmm. This is also the final time Adam morphs until Always a Chance, which is Power Rangers in Space, which is like the next season.
Oh, wow.
Adam would reappear as the Black Ranger in Power Rangers in Space, Always a Chance, also in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, Once a Ranger, and would appear morphed as the Green Zeo Ranger in the legendary battle. It's also the final time Cat morphs until Dimensions in Danger. Cat would reappear as the Pink Turbo Ranger in Dimensions in Danger, easy for me to say, and as the Pink Zeo Rangers in the legendary battle. This is also the final on-screen appearance of Alpha 5. He appears in his original form from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to Zeo, and is never seen or heard from again, though he is mentioned for perhaps the final time in the Robot Ranger. His current whereabouts at the time are undisclosed, and there's no explanation currently being given either by Richard Horvitz or by any other person as to the reason behind Alpha's departure. Now, however, when asked about it in conventions Q&A session, Richard, you want some? Oh, you have some. Richard says, was only gone by this time, and someone else was doing Alpha 6. Yeah, Alpha was gone, and I didn't watch it anymore. No, as soon as Alpha was gone, I was gone.
Wow.
So that was his reason. We also have the casting switch. This was made due to the multitude of factors. At this time, Jason David Frank wanted to leave the franchise after Zeo, but producers negotiated with him to appear in 19 episodes so they could find his replacement. Okay. Catherine Sutherland, according to some reports, was also interested in leaving the show. Wow. However, Sutherland has given conflicting reports on whether this was true or not. With the Screen Actors Guild wanting the actors to join, this would have resulted in Saban having to pay more for the actors' services. As a result, Saban placed ads in newspapers looking for 4 new Rangers, deciding to release Johnny Young Bosch and Nakia Baris as well. According to Johnny Young Bosch, the actor found out about their release when the makeup artist showed them the new ad for the new Rangers.
Whoa!
In an early script, TJ introduced himself as Timothy Johnson. So that was originally his name. Now, this is a fun one too. Jason, Zach, Trini, Billy, Kimberly, Rocky, and Aisha were going to appear in this episode to join the departing Rangers, basically showing all the Power Rangers who ever existed up to this point all together. But Trini were played by body doubles, and now Austin St. John, Walter Jones, David Yost, Steve Cardenas, and Amy Jo Johnson did not appear. Mm-hmm. None of the Turbo Rangers appeared morphed in Part 1. In Part 2 marks the first time the morphing sequence was used in a cold open. Pretty crazy, actually.
Okay.
Fun fact, actually. As for the episode, Demetria no longer spoke in questions, a trait which was considered very annoying for characters and viewers alike.
It wasn't on the first episode. It wasn't that wasn't the first episode where that happened, guys.
Okay.
There are notes she did earlier. We talked about it.
So when Carlos and Ashley bring the kids into the youth center, the first boy is played by Wesley Barker, who was Drew McCormick in Big Bad Beetleborgs. Mm-hmm. Part 2 is the last episode of Jason David Frank. We already have that in here. Carlos and Ashley appear in 2 parts. In Part 2, while TJ and Cassie appear in both episodes. Same part as Mama D.
Wow.
Oh, we also got another super chat. This is from Larry Newell. It says, Daniel, where's your robe?
Oh, hey, man.
You go to Cosmic Protector's Instagram page.
Go to Cosmic Protectors and you'll find out exactly what's going on, you know? Bananas, man. Bananas.
Yes. So that's crazy. Now in the chat, we want to know what are you ranking this episode?
Oh yeah.
Let me see in the chat what you guys are talking about. He said Blackwing says, "Laughed my butt off. I needed a good laugh today. That was great, Joe." We also got the blurry said, "Rat chewing on the peanut butter." What the WTF? The rat chewing
on the peanut butter.
That was a good one. Oh yeah, talk to me about the Universal set real quick.
Okay, so the whole thing of the staging for that set was something that they actually did have to go to a soundstage for, that they didn't own on their own. I didn't know that. So they had to head off over to something that was more like a subset owned by Universal to do that whole piece. So they had to bring in stuff that they already had and then use what was already there. And I don't know what stage show it was for, but then they stand on there and they do the whole Power Ranger thing on this weird soundstage, all set up, and it was just awkward to me.
Thomas Franco responded to me, and he said, "Joe, hey Joe, the reaction of Justin from the new team ruined it for me. I understand you don't have to hold that anger in for the last 20 years. Let it go. Let it go. We're here to heal." All right, so we're going to talk about some of the rankings you guys gave this episode. Cat Yellow Ranger gave it a 4. Secret of Secrets gave it a 4. Jared Hodges gave it a 5. Mm-hmm. Aaron S. gave it a 7.5. I'm assuming that's out of 10. Thomas Franco gave it a 5. Not that angry. You're happy. Larry Newbill gave it a 5. Funny K Comics gives it a 4. Right. Tom Craven gives it a 4. The Blur gives it a 4. Blackwing, 4.5. Comic Realtor, 8. Matthew Thompson, 0 out of 5. My long hair homies left. Because this long-haired homie left. WWE Master gives it a 4. And Matthew Thompson has a beautiful, beautiful locks.
He does. So, I mean, you know.
WWE Master, 4.99. Edward Sanchez gives it a 5. Daniel Jerome gives it a
5.
Joe from LA gives it a 5 as well.
Man.
Look, Power Rangers Turbo, this is a real big turning point. Now,
is.
here's the thing. I think the expectation is super high, though. And it sucks because you get let down right in the next episode. Sorry, El, you're going to walk into a shitstorm.
The first 2 minutes of the next episode, you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's rat chewing the peanut butter. It's bad. It's bad.
Token gives it a 5. Said possibly they did use Universal Sense.
I think so, dude.
Thomas Franco, now he gives it a 4.5. Mikey Perez gives it a 4. Oh, bless you, Junior Felix. Ryan Hyper.
This is how upset he was over how much they let you down. I'm telling you.
Oh, the Blur gives us another super chat. Whose character will be the commander in Cosmic Protectors? Great question. I'm going to answer that, actually. Actually, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Because I can't answer that. I'll say, I could say this. The leader of the team, at the start of the first episode, the leader of the team is me.
Yeah.
By the end of the first episode, the leader of the team is Daniel. I will say that. Now, here's a question. Here's a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you think, at this point in Power Rangers, would you have somebody brought in for Justin as well, and just did a brand new 5?
Brand new 5. It just looked weird seeing all of them up there, and then little Justin.
What about me?
Yeah.
My chopped liver?
Yeah, you are. Goodbye, kid. It was kind of awkward having you around. That would have been it. That's it.
It does look weird.
It just, look at that.
But I will say this. Also, I believe Carlos is the first Latino Green Ranger.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Cassie is the first Asian Pink Ranger.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. And actually, I guess Ashley is the first White Yellow Ranger.
Oh, shoot. That's right. It's all first. All first. And then, Justin.
Maverick will be on the team, yes. Maverick actually records lines for episode 2.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Maverick the other day. Yes, they would have picked Justin as the new Blue Ranger. Imagine how different. Okay, here's another question. Mm-hmm. So let's just say Catherine and Jason David Frank wanted to leave.
Okay.
Which of the 4 would you have replaced into the red and pink Ranger spots?
TJ still says red. For the pink, I would have actually chosen Ashley as the pink.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. I agree with you.
Only because Cassie was cut and run all the time.
I agree with
you. While Ashley was kind of like, I'm here, So
now this cast actually, I honestly think this cast is a little bit underrated for one. Oh, here we got another one. Tom Craven, another super chat. How long till we get the infamous pizza episode? By the way, we're gonna get to that pizza episode. There's a line in that pizza episode that was complete ad lib and ADR, and they kept it in.
Really?
Yeah. So the ADR ad, they fight a pizza monster.
Right. Yeah.
And the ad lib line is, "We're gonna toss your salad." It was said as a joke by one of the Rangers doing ADR. They kept that line in, and that is in the episode. Yes. You can go back on Netflix right now and watch that episode. We'll get there.
After we cover it, trust me.
And
all of a sudden they're going to take it off.
That says it, by the way.
They're going to take it off of Netflix after we go ahead and watch that episode. Watch.
This is a very...
Things change.
Also, by the way, Mikey Perez, Ashley is not Hispanic, actually. She's actually half Filipino.
Yeah.
So, that's a fun fact. But yeah, this is a great episode. This is a great era for the new era of Power Rangers. And I was going to say, this is also going to guide us into one of the most historic seasons going into space. And also, believe it or not, the end of Turbo is very good. The finale of this, for as bad as it gets around this time,
they make up for
it. And only in the finale.
I only remember how the finale was fun and great, and I was really excited to go right into space because of it.
Bam! So, another super chat. Look at that, Larry Newby. He says, "Happy 1-year anniversary of the Angel Girl prom on this day, August 18th." If you guys don't know what Angel, I didn't even realize it's been a year.
Wow! Happy
you know how much
guys.
stress that convention caused me? Let me tell you how much stress. We put on a free event for you, the fans, and it was well worth it. However, that caused me so much stress. And then getting that Megazord, and there's still a Green Ranger in Josh's garage. We don't know what we're going to do with. I think it's going on eBay soon. There's a ton of things. What are we supposed to do with that, by the way? Yeah, we got to get something.
Shoot, we got to.
We've had it for a year, a legit year. That's crazy.
They don't care until a big moment happens.
I just forgot about it until right now, this second. But yeah, Angel Girl. By the way, if you guys are going to be in Pasadena. Pasadena. What am I talking about right now? If you guys are going to be at Morphicon, no, not yet. That's coming later, right, Steph?
What?
Getting drunk later? Yep.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, if you guys are going to Morphicon in 2020,
yeah,
and if I'm not in jail by then, we are going to have a great time. However, Angel Grove Prom, just like the passing of the torch, this is all said and done.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we're going to do that again. Right now, I'm currently working on a lot of big plans, and actually plans that are going to lead up to Morphicon, not just at Morphicon. So I'm working with something with the In-Space cast. If you guys are California locals, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's okay. It's all right, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we're going to be doing a lot of fun things at this year's Morphicon. If I get to pull off what I want to do, it's going to be completely different than Angel Grove Prom, but still a lot of fun. Now, we thank you guys so much for joining us. And it's that time.
So, guys, make sure...
Wait, we're not done yet. Before you jump into that. No. We'll get there in a second. However, I suggest you guys stick around. There's a lot of you guys in the chat watching us live right now. Right after this show, Josh is filling in for Elle, and they're going to be talking about Doctor Who. And look, I think this era of Doctor Who is great. If you've never watched Doctor Who before, let Josh and Daniel today guide you on your journey into the future. And later on today, Junior, are you guys doing Star Wars? You guys got wrestling. Star Wars and wrestling. Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Facebook. Go check out Star Wars Fanatics on Facebook.
That's right.
That's right. And Johnny. You got the double J's. And we're not talking Jeff Jarrett.
That's right.
We have a jam-packed Sunday for you guys. But that's going to be on those two last shows, Star Wars and Wrestling, are on Facebook exclusively. My voice just cracked because I'm cutting a promo. Woo! Now, Daniel, say what you were going to say.
Well, guys, make sure, even before we say to like, comment, share, and subscribe, head on over to patreon.com/cosmic. We're actually putting our own finances in to actually make something for the Ranger community.
And also, it's going to be the most inclusive thing. Another reason why we did this project is because we thought Hyperforce was going to be a little bit more inclusive with the fan base than it was. I loved Hyperforce, and we're going to bring them back as well. But I loved Hyperforce, but we actually want to include the fans in all of this in terms of... You know, you look at the different tiers. Having you guys come on as monsters, having you guys come on as Rangers, having your likeness in the show. We really want to integrate you guys into this as well, so we can create our own world.
Well, because the truth
that integrates with them, and we've gotten a lot of support from Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, Leanna Ramirez, Jason David Frank, Tracy Lynn Cruz, Allison Sullivan. A lot of the former Rangers, like I said, are going to be coming back for this. Austin St. John.
That's right.
So It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you said, it's the fact that everyone can be a ranger, and we want to make sure that we truly prove that to you guys, and actually give you something a little bit more towards your alley, because that's what everyone's been asking for, and we've heard the cries, we've heard the yells, we've been part of them. So we want to give you something that's going to be just as good as, well, what, an anniversary episode. But it's going to go on and feel that way forever.
Quick question too: do you like 2 people on retro or 3 people on retro? I'm just
very
curious about that.
Let us know.
Let us know
right
now before we sign out.
Yeah, right now.
Actually,
we
can sign out and then we can still read your comments.
We're gonna stare at it right now.
Anyway, let's sign out. Let's do it, Daniel.
All right, guys. So once again, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Bye, guys.